Perhaps the biggest story of this week, though, is something that happened in the 1 o'clock game. I don't want to be too dramatic, but the Green Bay Packers, without Aaron Rodgers, it's not the same team.
Be dramatic. Be very dramatic.
First quarter, this happened. End result, broken collarbone, throwing shoulder for Rodgers. It didn't look that violent when we first saw it. The hit from Anthony Barr, but clearly Rodgers was in pain. He jawed a little bit before he got up and left the field. Mike McCarthy wanted the roughing the passer call. Eventually, he was carted off the field. 2 for 4 for 18 yards. The Packers tweeted they're afraid that this is a season-ending injury. All right, what's the plan in Green Bay?
Stating the obvious, the loss of Aaron Rodgers to injury definitely hurts. But as a football team, we have to move forward. Aaron's a great player. He's a huge part of our success in our program. But this is the state of the National Football League. You have to deal with all your injuries. Brett Hundley and Joe Callahan are my quarterbacks. That's what I'm focused on. I'm not here for any personnel comments or ideas. Brett Hundley and Joe Callahan. That's what we're going with.
When you've watched Aaron for so long and then he goes down with an injury like that, it's different. So when we got to the sidelines and were able to talk about it, I had to let him know I'm ready. I've been preparing. Obviously Aaron is Aaron, but I'm Brett. So let's have some fun.
We've seen Rodgers go down with this sort of injury before. It was just a couple years ago. I will say this. He missed 7 games, but it was his non-throwing arm. Since 2011, not only has Rodgers been among the best in the league, he's been among the most consistent as well. Obviously, this is, like you said, feel free. Be dramatic.
You should be dramatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the scariest part for Green Bay?
You lost your offense. I mean, this offense is built around this guy.
That's not dramatic. Why you're not being dramatic?
I mean, that's
just
panicking.
not dramatic.
Throwing and stuff.
That's like the
Cutting the fool.
And let me help you.
Break stuff.
I went through this one time.
I'm sorry.
I went through it one time. 2-14. That's not a fun place to be. You heard every guy saying, "Hey, we got to overcome this. We got to do this." The issue with saying all of that is the timing it takes to build the relationships and the amount of time it takes to build those type of plays on the field. The throw to Adams, that's incomplete. The next one you come back and you put the ball on spot. Jordy Nelson, the scramble drill. Randall Cobb, was Montgomery out of the backfield. Whatever it is, that's all not just designed. It's not 3 steps, the ball's coming out and I'm putting it on a guy. It is, I'm going to extend plays. I know where my guy's going to go when the play gets rushed out. It's all of those small details, and that's the way they like to play offense. So if you want to dramatize it, that's the drama, is that doesn't get replaced. It doesn't matter how good Hundley plays. It's going to take a change of the style of offense they're accustomed to running right now.
When you guys lost Peyton and you went 2-14, you lost Peyton before the season began.
Absolutely,
you had time. There is no time here. When this happened the last time, the Packers went 2-4-1 with the tie, and Hundley in the game today did have 1 touchdown, but there were also 3 interceptions.
It's not a good ratio.
First of all, shout out to Brett Hundley. I saw the Cap Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated shirt.
Yeah,
but back to this is why, if you're a Packers fan or if you're part of that organization, you panic. Because this, my grammar's not, this ain't bad just for the Packers. This junk's bad for the league.
Yes.
Well, this changes.
We were talking about that.
We were talking about J.J. Watt and Beckham Jr.
Yeah,
a lot of fans are going to tune in.
No, it's been some bad days the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
When you watch the Green Bay Packers, though there are Pro Bowl players and good players on that team, you tune in to see what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. Right. Those plays that Jeff were talking about, they're not only not drawn up, they're not supposed to happen. And then when they do happen, they're not supposed to look as easy as they do. See, we watch Aaron Rodgers do all that stuff and throw back shoulder throws and just do it like this and give you all this. Then he uses little flabby arms, his little soccer dad arms to do that.
That's what we were talking about last
That's what I'm saying. And you think to yourself, I might be able to do that.
Yeah.
Go pick up a football and
try it.
Go ask the Cleveland Browns, can you just do that at that position? This dude changes games. This dude changes leagues. When you play the Green Bay Packers, you know for sure there are going to be some defenses you scheme up that are perfect.
Yep.
I schemed up an interception in the Super Bowl for 2 weeks, and everything worked out perfect. I was going to pick it off, go 90 yards, and be the MVP of the Super Bowl. I was going to take my kids to Disney World for free because I was tired of paying anyway.
Yep.
And guess what? Touchdown. Because he was that good. Because he can make throws and plays that other people can't make. So that next man up, the standard is the standard.
Right.
What's another cliche? What's another? That's why you have. That's why you have 53. It's about the depth of your team. July.
Yeah.
And we in October.
Because some players just can't be replaced.
No.
And he's one of them.
And on Twitter last week when that was going on with the Cowboys, it was like people responding. This is incredible. It's a lot quiet. I don't want to keep bringing up Twitter, but it's my life.
75 yards in a minute and 2 seconds, and he made it look easy.
And I heard somebody say today, this was a great thing. They said, when I watch Aaron Rodgers, I just think how lucky. And then you keep watching it, and it just keeps happening over and over. And you think, that can't be luck.
No.
It can't be luck that many times. And that's to your point, because it doesn't look like it's scripted at all. He's got that ability. It's just he's just a difference maker.
It was also an injury-filled day. I mean, it's not just Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers all the way down the way for the Packers.
Correct.
They're riddled with injury.
The Falcons have been pretty good against tight ends, though. How did they defend Gronk this week?
Yeah, it's going to be a great matchup to watch. Everybody wanted to see that in the Super Bowl, except for the Falcons. But I'm really looking at the defense, and I'm saying I think it's going to have to be Keanu Neal. When I went back and looked at how they defended Julius Thomas from the Miami Dolphins last week, who only had 3 catches for 22 yards, it was Keanu Neal who went one-on-one with them. They flanked him out here. This is trips right. You get a one-on-one with Julius Thomas, and Jay Cutler tries to drop one in the breadbasket here. But Keanu Neal's hip to hip. So he's got the speed. I fully expect him to be the guy that's covering Gronk one-on-one, but he can't play man all the time, right, Coach? Sometimes you got to play zone, and it's going to be Gronk against a linebacker. I don't know if it's going to be Deion Jones or Campbell one-on-one, but this is what Gronk can do against a linebacker. And then when you got safeties that don't want to tackle Gronk, you've got a problem. So Gronk free in the middle of the field is not a good thing. Now, the Patriots do a great job of sucking in those linebackers and creating space for the big fella. Look at Tom Brady here with a little play-action fake, a little ball fake. Watch what it does to the linebackers. Their eyes, I mean, they're peeking in the backfield. It sucks them right in, and they sneak the big Sasquatch right behind them. This is a nightmare for defenses, and I think for the Falcons, look, you mentioned that they have struggled in the second half closing out games. Yeah. Gronk kind of gets better as the game goes along. Brady kind of figures them out. I think that he does a great job with Josh McDaniels finding ways to get Gronk the football.
And on the other side, the Falcons' best playmaker in the passing game, Julio Jones, off to his slowest start in 5 years. Dan Quinn says they need to get him the ball more, which seems obvious, Coach, but what can they do to make that happen?
Well, New England's 29th in the league in giving up big plays, and that's not a good place to start.
Crazy.
And there you go. Dan Quinn came out this week and says, we got to get the ball more to Julio Jones. So you can imagine, given that combination, he's gone into the offensive playroom, put 3 big letters, FTS, feed the stud, get the ball to Julio Jones. But you got to give the defense credit, too. Matt Ryan knows sometimes it gets stacked up. You can see Julio Jones on the 3-by-1 side. Look at the attention he's getting. He's getting ridden right off the line of scrimmage. You can see on the backside, what does this do? If there's 2 guys on Julio Jones, that opens somebody up, and Matt Ryan knows the flow of the defense. Now you're going to see again, he moves into the bunch here. He's at the inside position on it. Now watch what happens here. Look at the way they react. That's 2-on-1. Now this is probably a blown assignment, but that's 2-on-1. I'm surprised Matt Ryan didn't go immediately to the middle of the field. That might have scored. This was on a crucial 4th down that had to continue on for the first. Now, here's what you're going to see all the time. You're going to see 4 over 3 and the free safety coming towards Julio Jones. So it's understandable how Matt Ryan wants to kind of go back and find the open man. Didn't turn out so well here. But having said that, they only went to him twice in the second half of this game. Both big plays. I learned from Matthew Stafford. He said, when I had Calvin Johnson, I learned that sometimes double coverage doesn't mean he's not open. Right. And Matt Ryan, I realize that sometimes the defenses, they're going to put themselves to stop Julio Jones, but sometimes you got to feed the stud.
Averaging just 7 targets a game. Would love to see that in the double digits for Julio Jones.
Just when Andrew Luck was making some progress, his luck has run out, or at least stalled. Luck's been having some soreness in the surgically repaired throwing shoulder, so general manager Chris Ballard asked him to stop throwing. He had a cortisone shot to reduce inflammation, and the Colts won't guarantee he'll play this season. So should they just shut him down? Here's Damian Woody.
With Andrew Luck having a setback from shoulder surgery earlier this year, I think the Indianapolis Colts should shut him down for the year. They traded for Jacoby Brissett from New England. Seems like he's gathering himself and playing at a really good pace for the Indianapolis Colts. Plus, the Indianapolis Colts invested a lot of money and resources into Andrew Luck. It just doesn't make sense to put the player in harm's way. The organization has to save the player from himself and look forward to 2018.
That's probably what they'll have to do, because without Luck, they don't really have much hope of contending in the AFC South, if history's any indication. Since 2012, 43-27 with Luck, 8-8 when anyone else starts. Luck has a total QBR 63 in his career, 20 points better than all other Colts quarterbacks since he was drafted.